Hello, everyone. My name is Ariel Palitz. I am the first ever executive director for New York's Office of Nightlife at the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. I came by this role as a former nightlife promoter and club owner. I owned my own venue for 10 years in the East Village and simultaneously sat on my local community board on the liquor licensing committee for 7 years. This office was established in 2017 through legislation by a council member, Rafael Espinal, and signed by former Mayor Bill de Blasio. But this came after probably 10 plus years of grassroots activism and advocacy by the industry, who really felt it was important to have a central point of contact for this vital industry within the administration. As you probably know, this is really part of a global movement that really, in many ways, started with RHI and their vision over 30 years ago. But we see over 60 offices of nightlife now. And so when I was appointed, I really was able to have the benefit of seeing the infrastructure and lessons learned in cities and countries around the world. And so it's important to know that our office here in New York is a non-enforcement office. We are a central point of contact between the city as well as the state for the nightlife owners, managers, employees, performers, as well as residents and patrons. And trying to create a framework around such a large industry in such a large city, we did do a 5-borough listening tour with other city and state representatives to hear what the concerns are. And we were able to boil down our priorities to helping to support businesses navigate through bureaucracy in a one-on-one fashion, but also to help with the systemic concerns and challenges that have been facing the industry historically. We also focus on quality of life concerns, knowing that this vibrant industry also needs to coexist simultaneously with residencies. Many of the enforcement issues are complaint driven. And so trying to resolve those issues and find common ground. We also focus on harm reduction, safety, equity, accessibility, and sustainability. And then finally, focusing on elevating and preserving the culture. We know historically, nightlife has not always been seen as an asset, but a liability. And the reactive and enforcement approach hasn't necessarily always been the most productive, and definitely not the most respectful of this industry that contributes so much, not only to the culture, but economy. So, of course, once we were able to establish our pillars, we also have released a series of reports. The first report we released in 2019 really can help you as cities who are looking to potentially start your own Office of Nightlife. It is really sort of a blueprint about how our office was created, how we identified the priorities, as well as the different programs and initiatives that have transpired, and additionally, over 23 recommendations for the future stabilization of the industry. We also released an economic impact study that demonstrated that the nightlife industry in New York contributes to over $35.1 billion in economic output, supports over 300,000 jobs, as well as 700 million in tax revenue. So if you're not swayed by maybe the cultural contribution, of the industry, you can't help but be impressed at how essential of an economic engine it is to a society and to a city, and that it really does deserve and need proactive management, governance, and resources in a way that respects what it contributes and is able to manage it. I know that Jim has used the conductor metaphor, but in reality, it really is on the ground what we do. For example, we did a Lower East Side quality of life impact study that our impact program that orchestrated the Department of Transportation, parking, sanitation, all to work and benefit of a neighborhood on a very granular level. And so I'm just happy to be able to be here, to be able to share with you some of the benefits of how and why an Office of Nightlife is so crucial. Especially we saw through the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, there were historic issues. It was imperative that this office was here to help navigate the industry, to represent their needs, amplify their needs, and deliver critical information. And now in the cultural and economic recovery of our city, it is even more crucial now to have that representation for the industry. So thank you again. Feel free to check out our reports, and hopefully it's helpful in your journey towards your own nightlife office. Thank you.